Sticking it to a stuck-up hottie. All right, here we go. Okay, get ready for this one, everybody. Hey, Billy Badass Burr. Long-time listener, first time writing in. I have a funny story I'd like to share about a time when I rejected a smoking hot lady. Lady? I think back fondly of this memory, and hopefully it has some comedic value for you. All right. I don't see the value if she was smoking hot. What did she do, sir? I live in a large metropolitan... You know, we all put up with extra shit. Smoking hot. That's what they always say. Me and they always joke about that. If you watch Wheel of Fortune, which that was our show, Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune. We still watch them when my wife was late in her pregnancy and she just was over it, a way to just sort of, wind down every night was we would watch those back to back and we'd have a great time. And we would always laugh because for whatever reason, when you're a contestant on Wheel of Fortune, they would be like, who do you got here today? And they always be, my smoking hot wife. And I think the ladies do, my smoking hot husband. It was always my smoking hot, smoking hot wife. All right, anyway, I live in a large metropolitan city in the Southwest. This town is known for its partying and wild nightlife. You could have just said fucking you're in Arizona. That's what I'm guessing. What is this, Scottsdale? At the time, I was about 22 years old, and I was working as a busser in an upscale contemporary restaurant. This place was a madhouse, as you can imagine, from drugs to sexual behavior, rampant among almost all the staff members and customers. It sounds like a reality show if I've ever heard one. I'm more of a straight-laced kind of guy, and exposure to this kind of hypersexual, hedonistic behaviors always rub me the wrong way. Yeah, when human beings start acting like dogs, you want to get away from them. That's a good instinct to have. One of the hostesses was a weekend warrior, National Guard, and was a drop-dead gorgeous hottie. Back in the day, she would have been on a calendar. The fucking smoking hot hotties of the fucking National Guard in the Southwest. The Playboy guy would have been all over that. A 9 out of 10 gorgeous, half Caribbean, maybe 24. But she had one of the worst cunty, stuck-up bitch attitudes. Well, dude, she sounds smoking hot already. I've ever had, he said, one of the worst cunty, stuck-up bitch attitudes I have ever had to tolerate. Okay, I've ever had to tolerate? Is that what you mean? All right. She fit the bill. Coked up and a party animal. Oh, I don't do coked up. That takes a 10 down to a fucking -2. See ya. She needed to be taken down a peg, and the stars aligned to give me the opportunity organically. Why did she need to be taken down a peg? Dude, that's a waste of energy. Just walk away from the wreckage and just get on with your life. But anyway, he's going to take her down a peg, everybody. Here we go. One night, as I was on my way to work, we ended up in a brief discussion about her college education. You're on your way to work, and you guys were in a brief discussion, so you're commuting? You're riding in the same car? I playfully asked some questions, testing her knowledge of what she had studied, and she said to me, why don't we go out for a few drinks after I get off work, and we can talk about it? Oh, Jesus. To which I replied casually, nah, I got better things to do, and I'm sure you do too. The look of shock on her face was priceless, and I walked away feeling like a badass. I know I probably missed out on the best sexual experience I ever would have had in my youth, but it was worth it. To just for once in my life, to have the willpower to say no to a beautiful woman. Parentheses, and believe me, I don't get that opportunity often. All right, I get this. This is kind of funny. And she got a taste of her own medicine to boot. I'm nothing special and probably a jackass, but I always think fondly of that memory. Oh, my God. That reminds me, I can't even remember the story. I was on the road with Joe DeRosa, and there was some smoking hot woman just at the bar. It's back when I drank. And, running her yap, had nothing to say, but she's gorgeous, so no one's telling her to shut up. and we were talking about something, and she said that we were wrong, and it somehow came down to a bet. And if we could prove that me and Joe are right versus her, she would actually buy a round. It was really DeRosa destroyed her. I can't remember how this story went. But somehow she ended up being wrong. And we're like, all right, for the first time in your life, why don't you buy a round of drinks, Miss Cutie Pie? She goes, oh, you don't think I will? I fucking will. And she put her credit card down. And I don't know how we figured it out, but it was actually her boyfriend's credit card. And we were able to be like, nah. We made her put her own credit card down, which she did. And she bought us a round of drinks. And when they handed us the drinks, me and Joe promptly turned around and walked away from her. And we would I remember we were on opposite sides of the bar, laughing our asses off. And I yelled over to DeRosa. I go, how does it taste? And he did the Goodfellas. He goes, delicious. Delicious. You know when they go over to fucking Pesci's house and they're eating spaghetti? And they got Billy Bats in the truck. There is something funny about doing that. And she'll survive, she's smoking hot. She'll forget about it. She probably doesn't even remember it. Anyway, and she actually came around and wasn't such a cold-hearted bitch afterward. To me at least. So it all worked out in the end. Yeah, well, there you go. You learned a valuable lesson. There's some chicks that are just so hot that you almost have to be a dick to them to kind of zap them out of because I think that taps into their fact that they kind of know that eventually their looks are going to go and they're really leaning on them. So I think that's a scary moment. Like, oh, wait a minute. I'm getting rejected here. Does this mean it's the beginning of the end for me? Like an athlete. The first time, you're in the open and some young guy runs you down and tackles you. Like, what the fuck, man? That was a touchdown. The first 10 years of my career. Am I getting slower? What's going on? Anyway, she came around. That was many years ago, and I've gotten far away from that environment. I'm not a very good writer, so thanks for hanging in there. I thought you did great. If you even read this, you're one of my heroes, Bill, and listening to your podcast and all of your life's advice you have shared has helped me to become a better person. Well, I'll give you a better... Next time you're fucking with a half-Caribbean fucking cutie pie, you already got this story, so hang out with her. I'd like to thank you and all your listeners who write in to ask for advice and share your stories. I have navigated many relationship pitfalls because of your podcast. You're a gentleman and a scholar, sir. Jesus Christ, did I write this? You're pouring it on thick. You are truly doing a public service. Thank you. I'm also... What is that? I am a public server, right? Is that what the politicians are? Is that what they call each other? When can I get some of those fucking stock chips that they're getting? I have no idea. Anyway, here's old Billy Ballgame, who couldn't pick a fucking goddamn rigged fight at this point. I think I just got a feeling TCU is going to win. I don't even think they're going to cover. I just think they're going to outright win. And for the fuck of it, I'm going to put some money on TCU. It's weird. I'm going to put some money on TCU, but I'm going to be rooting for Georgia. All right? I've liked the Bulldogs since Herschel Walker, okay? And I like the Georgia Bulldogs so much that I don't give a fuck that Herschel Walker ran for office and said some crazy shit. I don't give a fuck. To me, he's Herschel Walker. Heisman Trophy winner, I believe in his sophomore season. He's a New Jersey General. He's a Dallas Cowboy. He's a Minnesota Viking. Right? I love how they blamed him because they had no fucking team up there and their owner made the worst fucking trade of all time. Worst fucking trade of all time. You guys ever, you want to read about that trade? They traded Herschel Walker for fucking 10 bums. And everybody thought that the fucking Vikings got the better part of the deal. But there was a clause in the contract that if Jimmy Johnson cut any player, every player that he cut, he'd get a Minnesota Viking draft pick. It's the stupidest thing ever. So they signed the deal, and then Jimmy looked at him going, I'm going to cut all those players, right? And they're like, Jimmy, you wouldn't do that. He goes, absolutely I would. And he cut him. He got like fucking 10 draft picks. All right? The Vikings stunk. And they blamed Herschel Walker, and it was their goddamn ownership. And then Jimmy Johnson, okay? Not only does he make the fucking deal, not only was that shrewd, He then takes those 10 draft picks, and I think he went 8 out of 10. It seemed like probably 5 of them were Hall of Famers. He absolutely crushed it, and that's what was the last Dallas Cowboys dynasty. And now you know the rest of the story.